Alright. We got Nick Crowley. YouTube darkest 7 video. I'm gonna start the intro. Yeah, I'm ending that out. Alright, we got YouTube. We got YouTube's darkest videos. 7. You know, been waiting on Nick Crowley for a while, bro. Yo, he's actually one of the greatest YouTubers I've known in this generation. In the generation of 2024. That's, yeah. Make sure to like that. Make sure to pull up. Make sure you know what I mean. But, hey everyone, I was originally working on another project for the month, but I'm having to step away. Whoa, yeah. Hold on, guys. Hold on. If I'm seeing this right. Hey everyone. I was originally working on another project for this month, but I ended up having to step away from it because it was honestly too disturbing. But I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, so I quickly put this video together. Sorry if it's not the usually standards. I can't read. Hey, hold on, y'all, because my teachers did something to me in like. I was really rushing it to get it out on time. Love you guys. What was too disturbing? Okay, let's see it. Yo, what the hell?
It's December 4th, 2003.
Wait, I'm really trying to figure out, like, where does he get where does he find these topics? How, like, where? You know what I mean? Like, bro. And the one he said that he was doing was too disturbing, bro. You, like what?
I'm gonna go try to get them to stop doing that.
A police officer walking in a local park in Arlington, Virginia, is approached by a concerned family, claiming that someone in a nearby neighborhood had been shooting off a flare gun. The officer could hear it too, and following the sound, he eventually found himself at the home of 56-year-old James Yu. The man lived alone in his half of this duplex, and was described by neighbors as a recluse known to exhibit unusual behavior. Across his social media, he made posts claiming that he was the victim of fraud.
James W. Fu. Say your motion here to get bro.
At the hands of all sorts of government agencies, as he had a deep distrust of the US government as well as law enforcement, and he believed that numerous people were attempting to kill him, like his ex-wife, the FBI, and even his neighbor.
I'm gonna try to find this.
His posts seemed entirely nonsensical, and so did many of his actions. In the months prior, he had covered up all of his windows with garbage bags and aluminum foil, and he even wrapped his trees in toilet paper. And though these actions are entirely harmless, on this day, things were becoming far more troubling. When police arrived at his home, you would be seen firing his flare gun out of his window and into the air, over and over again, and despite repeated attempts to get him to stop.
Arlington County Police! Stop shooting the flares! Mr. Yu!
He didn't let up, shooting 41 flares in the span of just 25
Where the hell do you get 41 flares from? Yo, does Walmart sell flares? Let me know. Cause I don't know where the hell you get 41 flares. Yo, is he the flare maker? Like, what?
And he did it all with no explanation. In fact, he didn't even say a single word. Understandably, police were eager to get Yu out of his home for questioning, as at this point it wasn't obvious whether or not he was a threat. And so for hours and hours they called out to him, first asking and then demanding that he exit his home.
James, Arlington Police, come to the front door with your hands up. Do it now. We have your building surrounded.
But still, there was no response. Growing impatient and worried that Yu might be planning something, the police would eventually bring in a specialized vehicle to bust down the door and spray the inside of the home with gas, all in an attempt to draw Yu outside.
James, stay away from your front door. Stay away from your front door, James.
Oh my goodness.
And in response, Yu began firing once again. Only this time, he wasn't using flares.
Oh! He emptied out the
Instead, he was
mag!
now yielding an actual gun. Thankfully, none of these shots connected, but with the situation becoming increasingly dangerous, the officers decided to fall back, as they carefully came up with a new plan for apprehending you, though whatever they had been planning would never come to fruition.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yo, what? Yo, did he just, bro? Did he launch a bomb? Well, alright, yo, someone get this guy out of here. Yo, he has 41 flares. He has guns, bro. He has extended mags, bro. He has bombs, bro. He blew up his backyard. Hey, hold on, bro. Who is James Plug, bro? Or is he the plug? Okay.
What?
Yeah, did I see that right? Oh, bro, is that an RPG? What did he just throw? Bro, hold on, cause yo, hey, James, your life is over, buddy. Honestly, if I was in the FBI, I would have bombed your house now.
What?
Nah, hell no. Bro. Oh, yo, we blew up the house? What? Oh my gosh.
In a split second, the home was gone, as a massive explosion rang out from inside the house, reducing the entire structure to rubble. Inside the house, Yu had stored 55 gallons of gasoline in his basement, which he saved for that moment to ignite with no warning and no explanation. Based on the footage, it's been theorized that Yu's actions were an attempt to lure police into his home so that he could then set off this explosion and take them all out along with his neighbors, as he genuinely believed that both parties were conspiring to kill him. Though somehow, when the smoke cleared, no civilians or police officers had so much as been injured. All that was found in the rubble was the remnants of a single body. Though for a moment, this wasn't the end of James Yu's story. Before that body could be identified, reports across social media began emerging showing that James Yu was somehow still alive.
No, hey, hold on, we ain't gonna do all that, bro. We're not doing all that, hey. You tell me he's still alive. He blew up his house. The house that he was in, he blew it up and he's still alive. Hey.
After the blast, comments were being made on what appeared to be Yu's YouTube channel, where he stated that this whole thing was a cover-up and that he wasn't even inside the home when the standoff started.
Everybody is witnessing them/they attempting to silence and crush me. Their attempts to trick via reverse psychology through, for example, media headline is pathetic. They do to this to the world who this... Okay.
Which, looking back, we never actually see him, and we also never hear his voice.
Oh.
Numerous posts pointing out this development would go viral and cause mass confusion about the story, which was only heightened when it was revealed that the body inside that building was in fact James Yu. Though in the end, it wasn't really as mysterious as some originally thought. As it turns out, the post showing these comments failed to realize that this wasn't actually Yu's account, and instead it had a completely different username, with the account likely having been created as nothing more than a hoax. To this day though, there are some that still believe that this was all some sort of massive cover-up, but in reality it just seems that this was the result of a man gripped by crippling paranoia and loneliness, with it all coming to a head in what has gone on to become one of YouTube's darkest videos. The internet is a dark and disturbing frontier. This year alone, countless people have fallen victim to high-profile data breaches, raising serious concern about personal information security. Ticketmaster experienced a breach compromising over 560 million of their customer records. But most alarming of all, the national public...
Make sure there's no jump scares, because it's late as hell at night. If I get a jump scare, I'll be screaming.
announced that they too had suffered a breach, where a staggering 2.9 billion records were leaked, potentially impacting every single American. And these leaks included critical personal information, such as full names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, and even social security numbers. If you haven't been taking your online security seriously, then it's time for a change. Though thankfully I feel secure because I've been using today's sponsor, Aura.
Good
Aura
try,
monitors your
buddy.
personal data and structure, which will give Aura enough time to find out if there was really nothing else like it. This obscure 27,000 square foot structure allowed visitors to enter into what must have felt like another dimension. It was an exhibit called Dream Space, and was the creation of British artist Maurice Agus, a 74-year-old artistic visionary obsessed with the idea of creating large-scale surreal environments, and this was his magnum opus. The structure was inflatable, akin to a massive bounce house, and once inside, guests were confronted with a labyrinth of brightly colored walls and cells, twisting and turning into some sort of surreal maze that patrons were told to lose themselves in. This piece of art premiered back in 2004, and due to its inflatability, it was actually built to travel, making stops in major cities in the UK, before it was eventually set up at Riverside Park in Durham on the 22nd of June, 2006. The very next day, 68-year-old Elizabeth Collins would visit the area with her husband and her daughter, as well as her 14-year-old grandson. And spotting this unusual structure in the distance, Elizabeth's grandson insisted on checking it out, excitedly taking off his shoes and running inside. And while the rest of the group was more apprehensive about entering, Elizabeth eventually decided to accompany him, leaving her husband and daughter on the outside, though not before turning back to them and joking that she was going in to find peace and serenity. Outside, Elizabeth's husband and daughter sat at a nearby table and enjoyed a cup of tea whilst conversing about the events of the week, only for the man to turn his head and notice that Dream Space was slightly moving, to which he excitedly said, "Oh, it's a ride, it's a ride. I wish I had gone on it." The daughter then turned her head to see the structure as it began to rise up off
Oh!
to which she chillingly responded, "It's not a ride."
Oh, no, no. It's actual footage? Oh, bro. That's scary. Oh my, bro. How? Bro, what? How is it even floating? What mile is the wind? Nah, that's actually
in that
scary.
moment, Dream Space had snapped from its moorings and was blown into the air by.
Damn, bro, what? I thought wouldn't that be heavy enough? Bro, that's crazy, bro. Rest in peace to the family, bro. Rest in peace.
A massive gust of wind. Agus just so happened to be standing at the entrance as it began to shift, and noticing what was happening, he grabbed on as he desperately tried to hold down his entire life's work, though clearly this was of no use. And after being lifted in the air, his grip failed, sending him falling back to the ground below, where he lay staring up at his creation that was now flying 30 feet above him. Inside, there were as many as 30 people who were now being thrashed around this giant inflatable structure, in a scene that I truly can't even imagine. The claustrophobia of it, the dizzying colors, the screams, it's genuinely one of the most horrific scenarios I've ever heard. The inflatable structure was airborne for well over a minute, folding into itself before finally crashing back down into a parking lot, leaving behind what was described by witnesses as a field of bodies.
No,
Worst of all, the majority of those in attendance were families with small children,
Oh,
with one 7-year-old girl
bro.
recounting her experience, saying, "It was very scary and people were screaming. I saw a lady clinging on and then falling out, and then she was lying on her back with people around her. I think she died." This lady was most likely 68-year-old Elizabeth Collins, who had been ejected from the structure when it was in the air, with her injuries being catastrophic and unsurvivable. Of all the others now sprawled throughout this field of grass, most were left injured but thankfully not in serious condition, though this wasn't the case for 38-year-old Claire Vermege, who had been inside during the accident with her 2 children, and despite her kids surviving, she was sadly not so lucky, with Claire and Elizabeth being the sole fatalities of the incident. The The video is terrifying,
No, I
and though it's easy to
imagine
say
it,
that this
bro.
could have been so much worse, considering how many people were in dream space at the time, the
Nah,
consequences
that's
were
why you gotta do
still
stuff
catastrophic,
indoors, bro.
as it devastated.
You gotta do this indoors, bro. You know what I mean? You can't eat, like, I don't even go inside when indoors, bro. But, like, just do it indoors, bro. Like, outside, bro, like, yeah.
2 families, and likely left many others at the scene traumatized for life, especially the young children. But how could this have happened? Well, that day was particularly warm, which likely caused the air inside the structure to expand, causing a hot air balloon-like effect, which was then exacerbated by sudden strong gusts of wind, which eventually caused the structure to go airborne, as in the end, it just wasn't properly secured for the conditions. Soon after the incident, Maurice Agus was arrested for manslaughter, though he would ultimately only end up paying a small fine, as he vowed to never create a large work again. Just a few years later, in 2009, Maurice Agus would pass away, with his legacy forever being defined by this devastating footage.
What you mean, bro? A small fine? You killed 2 people. What? That was your creation. You made that. You made the thing that killed 2 people. How that doesn't make sense to me. What?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Serena.
On October 2nd, 2006, police entered the home of 31-year-old Elaine Campione, where inside they found the woman speaking incoherently. Next to her was a VHS camera, depicting a series of disturbing events that had transpired within the home over the previous months and days, with the footage eventually finding its way onto YouTube.
Hi, Serena. It's August 8th, 2006. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
The tape starts with Elaine pointing her new camera at her daughter Serena. It was her 3rd birthday, and to celebrate, Elaine had left a brand new bike in the living room.
What is it?
It's a bike!
Days later, the footage continues, showing Serena once again as Elaine asks,
How does Mama love you?
This much.
Oh, I love you more than that. How much does Mama love you?
Elaine then shows her other daughter Sophia, who was just a baby, before turning the camera on herself and showing the kids how the device worked.
Hi! See how the camcorder works? Look.
Yeah, it's a farmer's.
Look. Hi! Is that Mommy? Hi!
So far, the footage seems like nothing more than your standard family home
Yeah.
videotape, and appears completely wholesome. Though with the next recording, the tone begins to shift, and things start to become slightly concerning.
This is a deplorable, horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible
She took drugs, or she's drunk.
mess. Yeah. I think Diego Campione is totally in the wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins, the same as Leonardo.
As Elaine shows the camera her home, she begins joking about how they are living in deplorable conditions, before randomly calling out 2 men who she says she hopes burn in hell, all while her children are in the same room. She starts to grow more and more agitated.
But you look at the children too, bro. They're not even like, what is the word? Not even focus on her, bro. She probably been talking about that all day or something, bro. Because they don't even care.
All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls and live happily ever after the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo Campione, and then the past year from Anna and Diego Campione, the mental and emotional abuse.
Outright saying that she was
Others.
abused by a man named Leonard Campione, who happened to be her ex-husband and the father of these children. And she goes on from there, with each moment clearly making the kids more and more anxious.
And I want justice to my family for what they have all done to us. I cried out for help. They should have charged him for the assaults he did to me.
Eventually causing Elaine to snap out of it and stop the camera.
And my poor 3-year-old, I did everything to protect. And what are you saying, Sophia? What do you want?
The video then skips forward once more, with this footage being taken just days before the police were called, showing Serena coloring on the floor as Elaine asks,
Who loves ya?
Mommy.
Who loves you the most? That much? Oh, I think I love you more than that.
The scene
Yeah.
that unfolds next
Then she And she's normal right now.
Next was recorded on that very same night, just hours later.
Yo, please, bro. Oh, I hate these transitions, bro. I don't know, bro. I feel like they're gonna jump at me.
Recording this because Leo and I are very happy. Everything is gone. You wouldn't give peace. You wouldn't tell the truth. You didn't care about our babies. You didn't care about me. You cared about yourself. All you did was hurt us.
In the video, Elaine states that everything is gone, as she speaks to Leo directly, accusing him of having ruined their lives with his constant abuse.
You are truly the devil. And I hate you. 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 And I want you to know how much I hate you.
Disturbingly, the children were nowhere to be seen in this footage, with Elaine eventually addressing them by saying,
God believes me. And God's taking care of them now.
No, what? Don't tell me, hey. Yo, Nick, don't tell me she killed him, bro. Yo, don't, like, I don't even, nah, bro. Bro, what? Nah.
You're protected by God. Thank God. And thank you. Because there's no way I could have them with you. Nothing's good enough for you. It has to always be your way. Well, they're good. And you can have it your way. Your wife and your daughters are dead now.
Whoa! Oh my, what? Bro, did she just, what, bro? She killed her daughters and then she's gonna kill her, bro. Oh, that's crazy, bro. Nah, what? What? Bro, I can't, like, what? Rest in peace to the daughters, bro, really. Real.
We're all in heaven.
According to Elaine, not only were her children gone, but she was too. She stops the recording soon after. Despite saying this, the camera would actually start up one more time, where Elaine describes how she was still alive, despite having attempted to OD, which prompted her to call the police. When officers arrived at the home, both Serena and Sophia were found laying in her mother's bed, holding hands, and wrapped tightly in rosaries. Neither of them were alive. 2 nights prior, and directly before filming this message, Elaine had brought them both into the bathroom, as it was time for their nightly baths. And once in the tub, she told them to play a game, one where they would place their heads beneath the water and blow out bubbles. When they did this, Elaine held their heads down, and she didn't let go until she was certain they were gone.
What the hell, bro? What the hell? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. Like, some people should not even just have kids, bro. That's a crazy world we live in, bro. What? Her own mom, bro. That's her own. Yo, I can't even think about that, bro. Her own mom drowned her 2 kids, bro.
This footage is some of the most disturbing that I've ever seen, as we get a glimpse into Elaine's descent into madness in the moments directly before she started her children's lives. But all of this leaves one obvious question. Why? Well, it was noted during her investigation that the abuse she alleged from her ex-husband Leo seemed to be very real and well documented over the years, leading to Leo not being able to see his children for over a year, with this causing the two to separate, which is when Elaine's mind began to deteriorate. She began believing that people were following her and were going to kill her, with this fear of people eventually shifting to a fear of aliens, as she claimed to have seen them on numerous occasions.
What the hell is this? Yo, Nick, you found aliens on camera.
Following
what?
Her. Because of this fear, she refused to let her children out of her sight, not even allowing her own parents to look after them, causing her to become so attached to these children that she genuinely began to believe that they were all one entity, which made things incredibly concerning when she became suicidal and eventually attempted to take her own life. Despite Leo's more than troubled history, he had supposedly
you should just
turned his life around in the years leading to this footage, and was eventually allowed to start visiting the children on a limited capacity. And seeing the children and seeing the way their mother was behaving, he began to grow incredibly concerned, and eventually attempted to gain full custody. And it was this bitter custody battle that seemed to be the ultimate factor that led to Elaine ending the lives of her children.
God's taking care of them now. You're protected by God, thank God, and thank you. Because there's no way I could have
She needs life in prison, bro.
Elaine Campione would be charged with 2 counts of murder and would eventually be sentenced to life in prison, with
Good,
a possibility
good.
of parole after
Hell
25
no.
years.
Hell
Today,
no.
she's held in a minimum security prison,
Yes,
where she's
good.
free to leave once every weekend to attend church and other functions.
There's a lot of more information on this case that I had to cut due to the time. I'll link some deep dive videos below for you if you want. Oh, it's more context. Close the school. His face right here, bro.
This is the story of his rampage.
I'll do this.
It began at approximately 9 a.m. in the city of Nottinghamshire when Gavin left his home. As he walked down the sidewalk, those in the area reported him acting strangely, muttering to himself that he was Jesus and that he was invincible. Without warning, he then turned his attention to a random home, which he forcefully entered, stole a man's car keys, and took his vehicle, taking off with no apparent destination. Inside the car, the owner just so happened to have 2 cameras, one being a standard dash cam and the other facing inside the vehicle, giving us a look at Gavin and his apparent mental state.
What's that?
This is me. Jesus Christ, I'll shut you up with a eyesight.
Whoa!
Hey, don't eat this. Come on, let's go, bro. So, get rid of all the crap hairs. Let's go. Let's go.
Just at a glance, it's obvious that Gavin is completely unhinged. For some reason, he was utterly filled with rage, ripping off the rearview mirror and yelling obscenities and incomprehensible threats at no one in particular.
I'm enraged. I'm Jesus. I'm descendant of God, and you lock me up. Watch this. You.
And most concerning of all is the speed in which he's traveling, as he
Yeah.
starts driving faster and faster, swerving in and out of cars as he passes through busy residential areas, as he reaches speeds that have been estimated to be anywhere from 85 miles an hour to well over 120.
Watch this now. I'm getting stronger and stronger by the second. Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo!
But somehow, despite countless close calls, every time he avoids collision, at least for the time being. In an instant, Gavin smashes the vehicle into a brick home at full speed, with the impact being devastating. And yet somehow, through the destruction, Gavin was not only still alive, but completely unharmed, and also completely unfazed. He pulled himself from the wreckage and immediately turned his attention to a woman driving nearby, and within moments he had forced his way into the vehicle, and was behind the wheel once again, continuing this deranged driving spree, until once again he crashed. And much like the initial collision, he survived, walking away unscathed before turning his attention to another random home.
Yo, buddy.
In pursuit of stealing his third vehicle, he grabbed a nearby concrete slab and began to smash through the home's doors, bloodying his hand in the process, before eventually making entry. Inside were a mother and her 2 children, one of which was 5 years old, and the other wasn't even a year. Gavin approached the terrified family, yelling and demanding that the mother give up her car keys, telling her that he was Jesus and that, "Because I am Jesus, I will kill you if you don't give me the keys." And without hesitation, she did as he said. Gavin then went to each member of the family, and with his injured hand, he drew crosses on their forehead, out of his own blood, before taking off with his third stolen car.
I'm glad he ain't kill the family, bro. I'm glad he ain't do that, bro. No matter how bad he did, bro. It's glad he ain't kill the family, bro. That's it. That's all that matters, bro. He ain't kill the family. Cause damn.
Once again, Gavin was driving manically, though this time he was even more reckless, crashing into a brick wall and then a cop car, before setting his sights on a pedestrian.
Nah, hell no.
While speeding through a neighborhood, Gavin would see a man standing innocently near a bus stop, and for whatever reason, the sight of this man enraged him, causing Gavin to slam on the brakes and reverse the vehicle, stepping on the gas as hard as he could, and crashing directly into him, leaving him lying there with devastating injuries. Gavin quickly exited the vehicle and found the man lying motionless on the ground, prompting him to shout, "I've killed him. I've killed the devil." Minutes later, Gavin would crash yet another car into yet another home, though this time the police weren't far behind.
This way. This side! Get him out! This side! I'll get him out. Oh no! Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Do not move! Do not move! Get him out! Get him down!
Finally bringing his disturbed driving spree to an end. The man that Gavin had struck was 87-year-old Terry Radford, a retired teacher whose injuries were catastrophic, with the man passing away soon after. According to his family, Terry was an incredible grandfather, father, and son.
Rest in peace, bro. Hey.
The footage is genuinely horrifying, but what's most shocking of all is the fact that any of this was even allowed to happen. As stated previously, this was Gavin's very first day out of prison, and based on the behavior he exhibited whilst in prison, he really should have never been released. Gavin was granted an early release in March of 2019 for charges based around burglary, but just as he was set to be freed, it was discovered that he had submitted an adulterated drug test, which caused his case to be re-examined and resulted in his release being postponed. In response, Gavin lost his mind. Later that month, he assaulted a prison guard before spraying him with an unknown liquid that contained bleach, before proceeding to set his cell on fire and attacking another officer with a piece of wood.
He got
For these
out?
actions, Gavin was placed into an isolated cell, where less than a week later, he started yet another fire, and when an officer entered his cell to put it out, Gavin struck them in the head and pulled out a plastic knife, threatening to slash him, stating that it would be a thrill to kill him. Gavin's stay in prison clearly hadn't rehabilitated him. In fact, it seemed to have made him more violent than ever before, and more mentally disturbed. Though shockingly, despite all of these additional crimes, Colin's release would go on to be approved less than 2 weeks later, with Gavin being set free on April 18th, and within just 24 hours, Terry Radford would be brutally killed. Gavin was sentenced to 21 years in prison, and during his trial it was revealed that no drugs were found in his system, and instead this all seemed to be the result of some sort of psychotic episode that just so happened to be captured on camera in one of YouTube's darkest videos.
Nah, that was crazy, bro. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that, bro. That's crazy. What do I say? Nah, I don't.